Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Elmore County Commission work session dated Monday, November 22nd, 2021. We will call this meeting to order. We extend a warm welcome to all of you who are visiting with us tonight. We appreciate you being here. Our first item of regular business, review the minutes of the November 8, 2021 Commission meeting. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed. Review the memorandum of warrants for the period of October 30, 2021 through November 17, 2021. Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, for that time period, the memorandum of warrants was $2,582,354.42.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we will proceed now with a public hearing. Public hearing for a 160 special retail more than 30 days alcohol license application for the Ranch Multiplex by the Ranch Multiplex LLC at 2705 Williams Road, Wetumpka, Alabama 36092. A few items to address as we approach this public hearing. First, we will have an opportunity to hear from individuals who have signed in on the back. If you signed in, it does not obligate you to speak, but if you are going to speak, then you must have signed in, or please go sign in now so that we have record of your attendance at the County Commission meeting at this public hearing. Each individual that comes up to the microphone, which I believe the microphone is on and should be ready, you will have 3 minutes to address the County Commission. A few reminders, when you address, you are addressing the County Commission. You are not addressing another party in the room. You're not addressing anyone else here. You're addressing the County Commission. I would like when you come to the podium, you need to state your name and your address for the record, and please make sure you say those things clearly, as the meetings are recorded, and we will have those things in our in the records of the commission. Another item of business to address before we get started. In the interest of time, we would like for everyone to have an opportunity to have their voice heard. If you are going to repeat for 3 minutes the same exact words that the person before you stated, then we would encourage you, you're welcome to come up, but we would encourage you to come up and maybe echo the person before you. If you have other things you'd like to add, by all means, we want everyone to do that. But we do, want to make sure that we stay focused on the topic at hand. The topic is not whether there should be an operating business at this location. The topic of this public hearing is strictly the issuance of an alcohol liquor license, the special retail more than 30 days alcohol license. That's the topic at our public hearing tonight. So we will begin our meeting with those who are speaking here for or on behalf of the Ranch Multiplex by the Ranch Multiplex LLC. We'll invite you, again, you can come up to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Don't feel obligated to take the full 3 minutes, but you have 3 minutes to speak. And if any commissioners have a question, they will address you and ask specific questions to you. All right, we'll begin. Mr. Henderson, would you like to come up first?
Good afternoon.
Hi.
My name is Cornelius Henderson. I'm the owner of the Ranch Multiplex. I'm also owner of the funeral home Liberty Mortuary and the owner of the building, that boutique, Fancy Pants, located downtown. Just to give you a little bit of backstory, I hope I don't run into 3 minutes. I'm a Wetumpka native. I'm a military veteran. registered nurse, and multi-business owner here in the community. I'm born and raised here, you know, and the Ranch Multiplex started from me needing balance in my life. Okay, I managed jails for 11 years, up to 27 jails, the healthcare in jails, and I managed a funeral home. And of course, you can see how that can be a little depressing. And my clients at the funeral home wanted a location to do other events where they could celebrate life. Okay, so that's how the ranch started. As we got to doing events, we realized that people could bring their own alcohol in because I didn't have a license. Okay, the ABC board says, hey, we recommend you get a license so you can manage the consumption of alcohol. Okay, and that's what kind of brought us here tonight. We've had events there that I know the neighbors has had concerns. We've mitigated a lot of those concerns by putting up sound barriers, doing parking, architect work so that we can park more cars inside the gate. And I've also bought signs, I've bought cones, I've even fixed neighbors' yard. So to speak toward the license, I think it's the responsibility of myself and the commission to grant this license so that we can manage the consumption of alcohol versus allowing patrons to bring in large amounts of alcohol and I can't monitor and watch. At least if I have a license, my bartenders can cut people off if they get a little too intoxicated or if they're headed that way. So, I mean, to me, it's a public service issue that we, allow me to be able to have the responsibility to control the consumption of alcohol versus allowing patrons to bring in alcohol, leave with alcohol, and it cause a problem for the community and the local authorities. Any questions?
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from any commissioners? I will mention that Mr. Henderson, myself, and Mr. Byer, our Chief Operating Officer, had an opportunity to meet last week for about an hour to look at some general plans that you had with regards to the future of the Ranch Multiplex, and we certainly appreciate you coming and meeting with us. You yielding the rest of your time to?
I yield.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else who would like to come up and speak for the Ranch Multiplex? Again, if you'll mention, I know we know Mr. Henderson and we have his record, but if you do come up, if you'll please state your name and address for the record.
I'd like to say good evening to everybody, Commission. My name is Bobby Mays. I live at 815 Greer Road in Wetumpka. Thank you, Rich. I also have the privilege of serving as the president of the Elmore County NAACP. I'm active in several other community organizations. I'd like to speak in support of the license, and my support is not just based on the license itself. My support is based on several things. I've observed other entities over the last 4 or 5 years address this commission in support of an alcohol license. And some of the reasons that they've given and that this body has embraced is that the failure to grant such a license would result in a loss of revenue for the county. Granting the license oftentimes results or presents challenges for Bill and his group. I'm sure that they are concerned with that. But those challenges that are presented by the consumption of alcohol and so forth, those challenges, though, should not stand in the way of granting the license. These are challenges that each of us face each day in many facets of our lives, and those challenges are the things that make us grow, that help us to do those jobs that we are charged with doing, discharging those responsibilities as commissioners, as ordinary citizens, as sheriff's deputies, and so forth. I have known Mr. Henderson for many years, and I've known him to be a man of integrity. One of the things that has, I suppose, attracted me to him is his business acumen. I have seen him work, and I am extremely impressed by his thoroughness. I urge this commission to give positive support to this license, not only for the sake of him controlling the consumption of alcohol on his premises, but to keep, if you get away from the business itself and think in terms of the community only, think in terms of the county, keeping those dollars in this county. A lot of times when we don't approve such requests or similar requests, it results in dollars leaving our county, and we don't want that. We want to make Elmore County vibrant, both in terms of economic viability as well as having a positive place for people to go. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
The commission has any questions?
Any
for me?
questions? I'll just let you know you were exactly 3 minutes. It's like you've done
I was
this
on it,
before.
Troy. I was on it.
It's like you've done this before. Any other individuals who'd like to come forward and speak on behalf of the Ranch Multiplex?
How you doing? My name is Travis X. Henderson from 628 Marshall Street. I just want to say, really, basically all I could do is speak on the character of this brother, Cornelius. I think he should be granted anything that he wants because he's an honorable guy. He's a person, you know, that upholds his word, and he see vision, he see growth amongst the totality of the whole, and I know he is an honorable man. Anytime a man can talk to me, shake me back to consciousness, help me keep my head on straight, his word is dependable, and you know, I thank him for a lot and for what he do for people.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chairman Stubbs and Commission. My name is Jeff Glass. I reside at 455 Cousins Road in Wetumpka, Alabama. I have known Mr. Henderson for more than 30 years, first as a classmate and then a teammate and friend. He is the best man that I have ever had the pleasure of growing up with. He is a man of integrity. He is a man of respect. He's a man who supports the community. Mr. Henderson reached out to me. I am the theater director at the high school. During the pandemic, we had a play that we wanted to do, but obviously gathering large crowds in indoor spaces in intimate settings such as plays was not ideal. He recommended that we perform our play at his new establishment. He asked for no money in exchange for that. Oftentimes, as I was there working, he was working there alongside me. He supported my students. He has since reached out and commissioned some work from our broadcasting department at the high school, at the ranch, and has paid them for it. He is a man who gives back to the community. He could have invested his money anywhere, and in many places it could have been much easier for him than in Elmore County. But it's a decision he made because as a lifelong native, he wishes to give back to the place that gave so much to him. I cannot speak more highly of him. I don't have the words to do him justice. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other individuals who would like to come to the podium and speak on behalf of the Ranch Multiplex in the liquor license application?
My name is Dr. Ashley Tippins, 771 Ziegler Road, Wetumpka, Alabama. I've known Cornelius growing up, very humble, good person. I know him personally as a provider when he was over me at Jefferson County Jail. Cornelius is the type of person that would help anyone in any aspect. He was the one that helped me get a job at the county jail. I know Cornelius to be someone who's going to stand by doing the right thing. As providers, we have to do the right thing. We have to follow laws. And I know that he's one that's going to map out what's going to be done right, and he's going to follow that to the T. So I'm in support of Cornelius and his multi-complex.
Thank you. Any other individuals? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Orlando Washington, and I live at 604 Marshall Street in Wetumpka, Alabama. I'm a native of Elmore County all my life. Cornelius is a man that's want to make a difference. He want to give the peoples in Elmore County somewhere to go and job. And I fully believe he will support the rules and the regulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Wanda Walls, and I live at 1721 Acken Hill Road. Now, I don't know Cornelius like they know him, but I did get to know him. We had something to happen in our family, and his service was so magnificent, so great, till I followed him and found out about him. He's a great man, and I do believe he will uphold what he's supposed to uphold when he is granted these license. He will not go out of bounds. If he does, he know how to get it back or who to go to get it correct. But Cornelius is asking for something that he feel like he needed. Don't he wouldn't have asked. But like I say, I learned him and I followed him. And to what I know now, he's a great person. I would appreciate if y'all please grant him what he's asked.
Thank you.
My name is Jacqueline Pierce. I'm from 166 Gosson Pass, Wetumpka, Alabama, and I live here in Wetumpka. On behalf of Cornelius Henderson, that's a great man. I don't know personally of him, but I learned through other people about him. And this is my sister Wanda, and we just recently buried my nephew and my sister. And what he did, he didn't have to do it. He deducted some things from my sister's insurance. And I was like, oh my God, this is a great man. So whatever he asking for, I wholeheartedly represent him, because that's a great man. He didn't have to do it, but he did it from the bottom of his heart. And we, as a family, we sure thank him for that.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ronita Bowman, and with us, we don't have anywhere to go. The grown people, I'm in my 50s, you go to Cornelius' place, it's laid back, no kids or whatever, because if not, I'm at home watching All in the Family. Please grant him his license so we can have something to do, because the kids got their party and the grown folk want theirs too. And Cornelius is a great person. When I met him, he just sweet, and you can't help but fall in love with him because he's a people person. And like I said, I heard of him, but when I got to know him for myself, you can't help but to love him because he's a great person. And y'all please grant him his license because we need somewhere to go.
I don't believe you that you're in your 50s.
Just turned 50,
Okay.
6 a row.
All right. All right. right, we will now proceed with anyone who is here to speak against the issuance of the liquor license to this establishment, the Ranch Multiplex. So again, same procedure. If you, I have a few people who had submitted to be listed or to be to address the commission. Ms. Roger Justice and Tammy Richardson are two that I have. Again, if you'll come forward, state your name and your address, and then you'll have up to 3 minutes, and we'll go through the same process.
Hello, my name is Tammy Justice Richardson, and I'll be speaking on behalf of my father, which is Roger Justice, who lives in the vicinity of Williams Road. Hello, my name is Tammy Justice Richardson. My great-grandfather purchased land on Williams Road in 1904. There are 6 generations of justices with that property. Many of the properties in this community are like this. The Williams Road community has always been a quiet, family-friendly neighborhood. We love, respect, and take care of each other. Since the Ranch Multiplex has began operation, everything has changed. When they have concerts at the facility, it is extremely obsessive noise from bands and people way into the night and morning. The bass is so loud it rattles the windows and walls, making it incapable to sleep. We have elders and children that don't understand why there is so much noise going on in the middle of the night. Who's accountable for this noise nuisance? Furthermore, the language that is broadcasted is usually not family-friendly in our family-friendly neighborhood. Try to explain to a child why we don't use those words. Who's accountable? Then parking, which they do not have applicable parking space to cover the amount of patrons attending, which causes traffic congestion because they are parked half in the road, which turns Williams Road from a 2-lane to a 1-lane with people walking down in the middle of the road. Parking on private property, getting stuck in yards and tearing them up. Then they use Tunnell Chapel's parking lot without asking permission. And of course, the garbage left behind everywhere, beer bottles, beer cans, liquor bottles, needles, cigarettes. It doesn't look good when you show up for church and have to clean all of this up every time they have something at the multiplex. I would hate to see what it would look like if a liquor license was approved. Tunnell Chapel Baptist Church is 430 feet from the Ranch Multiplex property line. They have had bands playing while church was in service. It's sad when you have such a distraction going on next door while the preacher is trying to preach. Who's going to be accountable for the decrease in property value that's going to go on? No one wants to move in to a neighborhood where you've got the noise, you've got liquor, you've got people walking up and down the roads. It takes you 20 minutes to go 1,000 feet to get to your house, which somebody has blocked by their car, so you can't get in your driveway.
Ma'am, that's your 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Is there anyone else that signed? Okay. Anyone else who is speaking in or against the issuance of the liquor license, you're welcome to come forward, state your name and address when you come forward, and you'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Roger Justice. I live at 128 Justice Drive, Wetumpka, Alabama. I've lived there for 75 years. We're about 1,000 yards from the multiplex. And I just want to say that, it's hard to sleep in your house when whatnots on the walls is rattling. And, that's all I've got to say. I just wish y'all would think about that real hard. It just devalues all our land around. And that's all I got to say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, committee, my name is Brian Taylor. I own all the land around that complex. I've met Cornelius. He seems a nice guy. And I'm not trying to stifle his business in any way, but I raise cattle on that land, and I'm forever going down the boundary fences and throwing beer bottles back over the fence that they're throwing in my pasture land. And as already been said, the noise when they're having a function. I mean, I live probably 700-800 yards away from the place back, and things rattle in my home, and my grandchildren are there, and the language is absolutely atrocious sometimes. I'm a man of the world. I know what that language is, but there's a time and a place for that kind of language. I'm not trying to do away with his business or anything like that. I'm just asking that the business is run in such a way that the neighbors feel comfortable with what's going on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Zach Rippey. I live at 3119 Central Plank Road. Similar to Mr. Taylor, I would just like to say that I have no issue with the business operating and don't want to stifle anything that they try to do. However, I would say while we are in an unincorporated area of the county, for all intents and purposes, that area on Williams Road, an intersection of Highway 9, is essentially a neighborhood. It is all residential other than the church within, a mile either way. The traffic in the evenings, the parking up and down the road, it is a safety hazard. That intersection is already dangerous enough. I shudder to think what it will be when alcohol is served there openly. I understand that people can bring it in now, and there's no control supposedly, but I feel like establishments can allow liquor in or out whether they have a license or not. So I don't think there's anything stopping that from being controlled now. So I have a hard time imagining what it'll be like once it's legal. Again, I think if this were a residential area legally, it would not even be considered. It happens to be an area geographically that falls within. It's all houses. It's all houses and pasture land and single-family homes and farms. This is not a place, if you were in the city, you would not consider granting a liquor license to a business that plopped down in the middle of a neighborhood. And I think functionally that's what this is. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Ralph Calloway. I'm at 2421 Williams Road, Wetumpka. I live 6/10 of a mile from this place. It has been said Mr. Henderson is a man of integrity. He's a good man. He helps people, and that's good. I have nothing to say about that. Only thing I can say is what I've seen and what I've heard. I own about 40 acres, 6/10 of a mile from there. The music is so loud, it does everything but shake your bed and knock the mirrors off of the wall. And if he's so respectable, why would he come in a place, a residential, highly area like we live in, and let music play that loud to after midnight? We got elderly people, we got sick people, they can't sleep. And these that's already spoken live directly across the street within rock throwing distance. I'm 6/10 of a mile, and I can hear it in my bedroom, and I have a very well-built house, very insulated. I can imagine these people living directly in front of this place, highly residential area. I know they can't sleep. There's no way you can go to sleep with that kind of music playing. And I'm definitely against it, 100%, of somebody coming in there, opening up a liquor license for all of that, considering what's already been going on. And it's not just my testimony. I'm sure that the sheriff's department has many calls about this kind of activity all the time. And I would ask y'all to check some of this stuff out if you have any doubts before you give these licenses. I know some of y'all was laughing about it, but it's not a laughing matter with me. I own a trailer park real close to this place, and I got restrictions. If they play loud music, they sign a restriction through a management company that they got to move. We had one had to move. He said, I'm going to play my loud music, so he had to move. He signed the restriction that he would do that. We don't allow that to go on, but this is different. They have allowed not only loud music, but when you can hear music 3/4 of a mile away, something is wrong somewhere. And I would ask y'all to check in on this before you make a quick decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jeff Holloman. I live at 82 Atkins Road, right down the road from the place in question. I personally do not know the gentleman that's operating it or seeking a liquor license. I have nothing personally against him. I know how it sounds right now on the weekends. It's extremely loud. It goes way up until midnight and sometime after. I can just imagine what it will turn into if there's alcohol served there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other individuals like to speak?
Good evening. My name is Adam Gomillion. I live at 1319 Dexter Road here in Wetumpka. I've only been here, lived in Elmore County for a year and 1 month because I'm the pastor at Tennell Chapel. It's 430 feet from the Ranch Multiplex. You know, so when we're having church, you know, and they want to play the music, and you're sitting in church, and you can hear that kind of music and stuff, it's a little unsettling and everything. When you have to go to church, as Ms. Richardson said, and before people get there, you have to clean up beer bottles, you have to pick up needles where people have been shooting up, you know, and that's a little unsettling, you know. The Bible tells us not to be consumed by strong drink. The Bible tells us to be sober-minded. You know, I'm not calling Mr. Henderson's integrity into question. I'm not questioning his integrity, but you know, as the gentleman said, who's to be held accountable for this? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other individuals who'd like to speak?
Good evening. My name is Stephen Mitchell. I live at 338 Melvin's Way. I've been in the community since 2014. I'm also a veteran. I've been working with the state of Alabama for many, many years. I'm the IT director at the Supreme Court of Alabama. I echo a lot of the sentiments that a lot of the people that came before me. One thing I want to point out is the Alabama Alcoholic Beverage Control Board Administrative Code, something that needs to be looked at, and that's Chapter 20-X-6-.07, Services of Alcohol Beverages on Patios or Premises or Swimming Pool Areas. So it covers a lot of areas. One of the things it says is the serving areas, which I would imagine that would be the establishment and the patio areas, shall not or shall be located so as not to be a nuisance nor readily visible from a church or a school premise. So does that stretch to include Tunnel Chapel, which is within 400 and something feet? I'm not sure. I'm not against establishments having liquor license, but there's a location for all of those establishments. I just do not feel that this is the proper location. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you. Any others?
I'm Robert Borth. I am standing, by the way. I live at 190 Adkins Road. I moved to Wetumpka in 2003. Quiet place. I don't know the people that own the place. I was glad to see it cleaned up. I was glad to see it being used. My only complaint would be I go to bed early and get up early, and I get woke up by loud music. That would be my only complaint. I think alcohol would make it worse, but y'all are the ones that make those decisions. So that's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you. Any others? All right, seeing and hearing none, I'd like to invite Sheriff Franklin to come to address the group, the commission.
Commission, I can't speak to the life and times of Mr. Cornelius Henderson. I don't know Mr. Henderson. I had the privilege of talking to him probably about 15, 20 minutes on the telephone about a week or two ago. I think most of these people's sentiment, from what I'm hearing from people calling us, and I think we've probably garnished over a little over 40 to 44 complaints in that particular venue, is actually the location. I think with where it's at seems to be from all the people that is calling myself in the sheriff's office, it's not so much that they're upset that a man wants a business, they're more upset about where the locale of the business is located. Now, from me talking to Mr. Henderson, I can tell you that there's some fire code violations that probably need to be looked into that my office or either the state's going to have to pursue. I can tell you, I don't know if Mr. Henderson is aware of this. I think he should be, but I got a call from the fire marshal prior to coming down here, and I think since 2011, that building has been under in violation of the fire code. I don't know if Mr. Henderson's aware of that, but there's some things that I'll be talking to two of the guys down there at the fire marshal's office about later on regarding that. And I'll also need to talk to Mr. Henderson. Now, insofar as his business, I can tell you that we've had the Wooden Nickel years ago. We've had the Soul Palace, and nobody seems to care when there's death. Nobody has to answer those calls for service. Nobody's going to care in this room about Johnny or Jimmy got stabbed, which has happened, at a bar where alcohol was served. This gentleman right here was talking about alcohol being served if they get a liquor license. Alcohol is being served now, okay? Or alcohol's there. Your definition of being served, we can all sit here and, you know, articulate what actually served means, but alcohol's there. I've got cars in the roadway that people are bitching about, wanting to know why aren't we doing something about that. I've got the boys and the girls that's heeing and sheeing out in the parking lot that are fighting that we're responding to. I'm not saying that is Mr. Henderson's fault. I'm just saying that is a real issue that we're having to address. There's going to be fights. There's going to be parking issues. I haven't got into the neighbors that they're mad because their lawn was rutted up. I know the issue with the church. That's been discussed to me. But I can go on and on. I know I've got 3 minutes, and I'm probably just about to burn that up. But like I said, I'm not here to, slant anything against Mr. Henderson. I don't know him. I talked with him, and he was very nice on the telephone. But as far as the fire code violations and the architect and things that's going to have to be done there, that was brought to my attention. And had I known that, Mr. Henderson, I would have talked to you the other day about that. That was just brought to my attention. But any questions?
Sheriff, in reference to the fire marshal notice that you got, do you know if there's any kind of court order or anything that's...
Court order 2000, well, actually, I think it was signed by Judge Fuller back in 2010, and I believe they went out there in 2011. And I believe there's been other people in that venue since then, but it's my understanding, the way it was explained to me, is if one man is working in there, that's not in violation. But if the public is to go there, then he would be in violation. Now, I do know there's been 2 or 3 different venues in there prior to Mr. Henderson being up there. So I don't, but I think that was like a welding shop or something like that. I was more familiar with it when it was a stockyard. And I think nobody in here, other than a cow mooing, anybody had a problem with. But I can tell you, the people that, I've had more complaints about people calling me saying, Sheriff, this is wrong. It's midnight, it's 2 o'clock, and they're dropping the F word up here. I mean, this is getting absolutely ridiculous. I'm not saying Mr. Henderson condones that. I'm just saying perhaps he's not aware of that. But, that's some of the complaints I get. That's all I can speak to, but that's, I will be speaking more with the fire marshals tomorrow. They called me prior to coming down here.
Any other comments or questions for the sheriff?
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to now give an opportunity for any commissioners who would like to make any comments or address the group. Following that, we will proceed with the balance of our meeting, and then we will take up the decision during our business session. Any comments or questions from any commissioners?
Chairman, I think the only thing I've got to say is that, a lot has been said here tonight, and I think the big thing is we have to remember this is not about anybody individual with a business. We want business in Elmore County, but we have to look at the well-being of that business and the availability of alcohol, and I think that's the whole issue tonight is a alcohol license. It's not about the business itself, because they have a business license. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Chairman, if I may, I've met Mr. Henderson and talked to Mr. Henderson, and I think he's a well-respectable man. I have watched him do funerals, and he conducts business in an orderly manner. And I feel with the multiplex, with everything that we're learning tonight, with given more time, he would be able to have his facility comply with recommendations that have been made by this commission. I know I spoke with him last week, and I told him of some things that he needed to do in order to relieve the concerns of safety that citizens have raised, as well as what our COO and you, of course, Chairman, have informed him also with his business. Of course, at the County Commission, we have policy and regulations that all buildings must maintain and follow by. Getting an alcohol license, you're held to a higher standard, which Mr. Henderson's business will have to do. But in talking to the sheriff, and when I talked to Mr. Henderson, the sheriff just notifying that there's an order that Judge Fuller has put on that building is a major concern, because if there is a standing order, with being a lawyer and explaining to our public, if there's an order ceasing any business or anything happen in that facility, we as a commission would not be able to move forward in recommending until that cease has been lifted. So, it was just brought up tonight. I haven't had a chance to look into it. I'm sure it's on Alicourt if we were to look it up. And I know Mr. Jeff is over there, our lawyer, as well for the county. I don't even know if he's had a chance to review it since the fire marshal called today. But I would like a chance to look into it. But if that's the case, then there's another issue that has to be dealt with before we can move forward with this.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? I will say, just for everyone's information, that all of these proceedings are recorded and they are put on our website tomorrow morning. So that's for everyone's information, just so you don't run your battery out recording. I think that, and I'll just mention briefly a couple of comments. I think it is important for us all to note tonight that we have an opportunity and to hear from everyone in a professional manner, in a manner in which we have respect for one another, and providing the ability for people to exercise that right to express their feelings, because a lot of what I heard tonight was more about feelings and less about liquor license, honestly. There were a lot of comments about experiences with Mr. Henderson, personal experiences, which are great. I met with Mr. Henderson last week for about an hour. He talked about his experience in the prison system with providing health care in prison systems. Very commendable, probably saw a lot of things that I never want to see in my life, and I think that that's great. I enjoyed that conversation. Tonight we heard a lot of people talk about knowing him for many, many years and having those experiences. We heard a lot of people talk about their family and owning land in the area, and this is something new and different, and this is not what they, were expecting to be in that establishment. We heard about noise. We heard about all of those things. So I think it's important to remember that as we as a county commission and as we as the public, we can be very distracted by the pervasive nature that things are portrayed with government in the world today. I think that we collectively as a community in Wetumpka, regardless of whether Mr. Henderson is operating a business a year from now or 10 years from now or not, we all still live here. We all still go to the same Winn-Dixie. We all do everything together. I've seen a lot of you. I live on Chapel Road, and I've got my neighbors from Gossam Pass here, not far from me. I drove out to the multiplex today. I parked in the parking lot at the multiplex. I looked at the multiplex. I did all of those things. So I think that I hope we all walk away tonight remembering that this isn't about a person on either side. This isn't about a feeling towards another person. This is about a decision that we have to make considering all of the factors. And I think also, as Commissioner Lewis mentioned, this has to be a safe operation, regardless of whether liquor license, no liquor license. If there are issues with the occupancy of the building with regards to the fire marshal, I think we all want to make sure that is, and it's not that it can't be done, it just needs to be documented. None of us want what happened in Houston to happen in Wetumpka. I think we all agree with that. I know Mr. Henderson agrees with that. So we need to make sure that is handled in the proper manner, and if anything needs to be done, we can make sure that it gets done in the right way. So we will now proceed with the balance of our meeting, and then we will have our business session, which will include the finality of the public hearing. Old business, consider one appointment to the Elmore County Healthcare Authority, Elmore Community Hospital appointment due 12/13/2021. Candidates, Mr. Samuel C. Turner. Are there any additional candidates to be considered? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed with new business. Consider one appointment to the Crenshaw Park Board, appointment due 1/10/2022. We currently have no candidates listed. As a reminder, if an individual is interested in being part of the Crenshaw Park Board, we have one document to be
Mr. Chairman, we did receive
did
Ms.
get one
Elwanda
today.
Penn,
Okay.
and she is a sitting member as the,
Okay. Yeah, we received her appointment candidate request form today. Ms. Elwanda D. Penn from 91 Crenshaw Loop, and this would be a reappointment. For any appointments to any boards on the Elmore County, that the Elmore County Commission appoints individuals to, we have a document that we have them fill out that shows some personal information about them as we consider people for appointments. So that appointment will be done on January 10th, 2022. Next item, discuss authorizing chairman and COO to acquire a .23 acre parcel from Marbury Water adjacent to City County 17 Springs parcel for the cost to abandon the old well. Cost to be split equally with the city of Millbrook. Are there any comments or questions regarding this parcel? All right, hearing none. Next item, consider renewal of Crosby Drinkard Group LLC Governmental Affairs Consulting Service contract for 2022. This contract runs on a calendar year, January through December. It's up for renewal, and I can speak directly to Ms. Crosby and Mr. Drinkard and their efforts on behalf of Elmore County and moving forward with local legislation. They've done a great job for us over the last 5 years, and I look forward to continuing to work with them. Any comments or questions?
I echo that sentiment. I know anytime we've had a local bill and local legislation in Montgomery, they've been out in the forefront and been very instrumental in getting that passed.
All right, thank you. All right, proceeding now with consent docket. Approved travel memo. We'll proceed now with personnel notifications. Notification of resignation of Dennis Gibson, Equipment Operator 1, effective 11/10/2021. Notification of resignation of Austin Cowan, Assistant Engineer, effective 11/11/2021. Notification of hire of Morgan Hillier, Equipment Operator 2, fill vacant position, effective 11/15/2021. Notification of hire of Leighton Luker, Assistant Engineer Intern, fill vacant position, effective 12/6/2021. Notification of hire of Haywood McGuire, Part-Time Equipment Operator 2, fill vacant position, effective 1/3/2022. Notification of promotion of Cameron Bartrez, Dispatcher Tier 1 to Dispatcher Tier 2, effective 10/26/2021. Notification of hire of Caleb Davis, Deputy, replace Kay Kendrick, effective 11/15/2021. Notification of resignation of Glorianne Bush, Dispatcher Tier 2, effective 11/18/2021. Notification of hire of Heather Sheffield, Dispatcher Tier 1, replace G. Bush, effective 11/19/2021. Notification of promotion of Peyton Haney, Process Server to Deputy, effective 12/5/2021. Notification of promotion of Stephen Dudley, Deputy, replace T. Reed, effective 12/5/2021. Notification of termination of Stephanie Jarrett, Assessment Clerk, effective 10/29/2021. Notification of retirement of Lisa Henson, License Clerk, effective 12/31/2021. We'll now proceed with reports to the Commission. Our Chief Operations Officer, Mr. Richie Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, in front of you, you've got a two-page report that is titled COO Work List, and the second page is the FY22 Road and Bridge Priorities. Just sharing that with y'all this evening to where you can review it over the next few days, and we will circle back with each one of you about those projects. These are not things that, especially the road and bridge priorities, that we feel like will all be accomplished in FY22, but those are our targets, and these are our top priorities that we're trying to pursue. And then from the work list standpoint, I just wanted y'all to have a copy of the things that day to day we're trying to pursue for you and handle. And there's some of them, like Commissioner Mercer will see when it says broadband project. That's a pretty big undertaking, even though it takes up one line. The American Rescue Plan is one little line, but there's all these components. So just trying to give you some background on what we're working on each and every day, and that's in addition to dealing with questions and concerns from the public. So just wanted y'all to have that in place, and then if you have any questions or if there's anything that you don't see on here, please let us know so we can try to set the tone for the beginning of 22, the calendar year 22. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in the way of report. Do you have any questions for me?
Mr. Byer, those projects that will not be completed, obviously, because of the paving season's over, that were scheduled for 2021, they'll begin early in the spring, right, as soon as we can?
Yes, sir. They are actually the fourth bullet point on the road and bridge priorities, the FY '21 rebuild, zip and seal. So those are the ones that are listed there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions, comments? All right, we'll proceed now with reports from the commission. We'll begin with Commissioner Hines.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to start tonight by congratulating our employees of Elmore County, and especially our Highway Department and our Sheriff's Department. We were awarded this last Wednesday the Alabama PALS Governor's Award, the top Don Hines Memorial Award for Elmore County for our litter campaign that we have going on. And I want to commend and thank every citizen that has helped us clean up Elmore County, and I look forward to working with you in the following years to continue cleaning up Elmore County, because something I've learned a long time ago, Chairman, is that no one cares until it personally affects them. This is a great example tonight. And trash is something that affects all of us. And let me tell you, without Sheriff Franklin and his deputies out there with some of the prisoners that he's allowed us to use, a lot of the roads would look a lot worse than they do. And he's done a great job to help us there. And our Highway Department is out there every day picking up and cleaning and cutting grass. And on top of that, our grass cutting is over for the year. They have cut all the roads, so that is a great thing to be ahead of that this year. Another thing is that we're 7 short in our Highway Department. And as Mr. Ritchie has just said, we've got a lot of work to do this coming year. And we need equipment operators and some other employees out there. And if you know someone that's looking for a job, please tell them to go online and apply. They're posted, and we're a great company, a great business. Elmore County is to work for with all the benefits. And we need you out there and helping us each day to continue working for Elmore County. Also, just again want to thank all of you coming out tonight, because this shows a lot to get involved, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Daughtry?
I don't have anything at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Mercer?
Thank you, Chairman. I just have one item that I'd like to report on in my effort to work with our Economic Development Authority in the county. We, ACETA, worked with the Alabama Student Anglers Bass Fishing Association to bring another tournament into the county. It was a one-day tournament. It was a qualifier tournament this past weekend. It was a very successful event. We actually had our team from Elmore County High School win the event. And I appreciate ACETA and all they do to bring these tourism / fishing tournaments events to our county, which does nothing but to help our local economy, and especially with these high school tournaments. They're great events to be a part of, because it helps our students. That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Lewis? All right. Thank you. I'll just have a few brief comments. I echo Commissioner Lewis and her desire to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that we'll all take an opportunity to reflect on our lives and the efforts that we put forth to improve and make ourselves, our families, and our community better. I commend Commissioner Hines for his efforts over the last year in coordinating litter cleanups throughout the county. I think we all recognize that litter is a problem. Hopefully you've recognized that there have been some efforts made in the community by community members who are organizing themselves in neighborhoods, et cetera, to try to pick up the litter. He did mention that we appreciate Sheriff Franklin and the opportunity to use some of the inmates to assist in cleaning up the roads, but I'd like to remind everyone that I'm fairly certain that they did not throw the litter on the road. We did. So it's us. It's everybody here. And you may think that you would never do that, but if you throw an empty 20-ounce Mountain Dew bottle in the back of your truck, it blew out. If you got out of your car and you had a receipt in your pocket and you pulled your keys out, the receipt fell out and it blew away. So it happens to all of us, and I know none of us want to do that. Unfortunately, there are people that dump and do things like that, and we're making every effort to stop that. But just want to remind all of us that, we all have an opportunity to do our part with litter and making this county beautiful, which it's where we live, and we want to be proud of it. I do, again, appreciate everyone being here tonight. We will now have our important calendar dates, and following our important calendar dates, we will dismiss for a short period of time, typically about 5 minutes, and then we will reconvene immediately for the business meeting. At the business meeting is the time in which we, as a county commission, will vote on any of the items that were in our work session that need a vote. So there are a handful tonight, including the public hearing and some other things. So just so that everyone understands and knows the operation, I think we set an attendance record tonight, so we certainly appreciate all of you being here. Important calendar dates.
Wednesday, November 24th through Friday, November 26th. The administrative complex will close at noon on Wednesday and remain closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. Wednesday, December 8th, Thursday, December 9th is the ACCA Legislative Conference in Birmingham, Alabama. Tuesday, December 14th is the Employee Christmas Breakfast at 8 a.m. Monday, December 13th is the Commission Work Session at 5 p.m. with the business meeting immediately following. Thursday, December 23rd and Friday, December 24th, the administrative complex will close Thursday and Friday in observance of Christmas.
All right, thank you. We'll reconvene shortly. All right, good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Elmore County Commission business meeting dated Monday, November 22nd, 2021. We'll call this meeting to order. We will begin our meeting with an invocation offered by Commissioner Mercer, following which Commissioner Lewis will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for bringing us here tonight, Lord. We thank you for this great county we live in and the great people that we get to live with, Father. We thank you for loving us, and we thank you for everything that you do for us, Father. We ask that you give us safe travels home tonight. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand.
Ms. Kalen, would you call roll?
Commissioner Hines?
Here.
Commissioner Daltrey?
Here.
Chairman Stubbs?
Here.
Commissioner Mercer?
Here.
Commissioner Lewis?
Here.
We'll proceed now with our regular business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the November 8, 2021 Commission meeting?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kalen?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daltrey?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of October 30, 2021 through November 17, 2021?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kalen?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daltrey?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
We'll proceed now. Is there a motion to approve or deny a 160 special retail more than 30 days alcohol license application for the Ranch Multiplex by the Ranch Multiplex LLC at 2705 Williams Road, Wetumpka, Alabama 36092?
Chairman, if I will, if I can, Mr. Courtney, I have a question for you. In light of the fact that we've been made aware of tonight that there's a court order signed by Judge Fuller in relation to the fire marshal's opinion of the safety of the building, what can we do as a commission to authorize additional functions to take place there with this information? What are our options?
Yes, Commissioner Mercer, there are basically there are four options. Okay. You could vote to approve, you could vote to deny, you could vote to carry over, and you could vote to table. Those are the four, and I'll make comment on a couple of those. The difference between a carryover and a table is that a carryover would require the commission to set a specific date and time right now when it would be taken up again. table, it could be considered again at another time. If you were to vote to approve it or approval versus denial, I've reviewed the court order, and there is a court order that specifically requires fire marshal satisfaction. I could not recommend to the commission to vote in any manner that may place the commission in violation or in contempt of any existing court order. If it is your intent to not make a final decision on the issue right now, then based on what I've heard tonight and based on what I know, I would recommend that you vote to table it.
Because what we would be voting on is a liquor license, not the operation of the business.
That's correct.
Okay. And so, Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we table this issue.
I second that motion.
Are there any other comments or from commissioners? All right, we have a motion to table by Commissioner Mercer, a second by Commissioner Lewis. Any additional comments? All right, hearing none. Ms. Kalen?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daltrey?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
All right, so, Mr. Courtney, if I'm understanding this correctly, the option for us to table this is it provides the ability for the commission to take this up at a future commission meeting with the necessary documents in place, specifically the document from the state fire marshal that would remove the question of the Judge Fuller's court order.
That is correct.
At that time, the commission would not be in violation of a court order, and we could consider the liquor license on its merits.
That's correct.
Are there any other comments or questions? Commissioners? All right, next item, new business. Is there a motion to approve or deny authorizing chairman and COO to acquire a .23 acre parcel from Marbury Water adjacent to the City County 17 Springs parcel for the cost to abandon the old well, cost to be split equally with the city of Millbrook?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kalen?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daltrey?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve or deny renewal of Crosby Drinkard Group LLC Governmental Affairs Consulting Service Contract for 2022?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kalen?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daltrey?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the consent docket as presented?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Ms. Kalen?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daltrey?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
We will forego the personnel notifications. Are there any additional reports to the commission? No, sir. Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Kalen?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daltrey?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
We are adjourned.